Good evening, baseball fans. How are we doing? We got a lock, or well, my goodness, I can't even talk. We have an update on the lockout. Not too much has changed. We'll get into that tonight. We have some rumors regarding Nick Castellanos, as well as Stl Suzuki and the St. Louis Cardinals. Let's get into it. What is going on, baseball fans? Hello, around 40 people in the chat. Hope everyone is doing well on this fine Tuesday evening. It looks like, hey, maybe we're not as close to this lockout being over as we thought, but hey, you never know what could change over the next week or two, but we'll get into the update for tonight. They did meet today. Not too much was addressed, but hey, even though it was only a little bit, we'll go over that here shortly. We have... Hey, even though, like I've mentioned in the past couple of streams, we obviously cannot have any transactions, free agency, trades at the moment, but we can still have some rumors out there. And I got something on Nick Castellanos, I got something on Stl Suzuki, and I got something on the St. Louis Cardinals. So make sure you stick around for all of that tonight. I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces in the chat, even seeing some new faces that I haven't seen before. Welcome. If anyone is new, think about hitting that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 20K by opening day. We're getting pretty close to 17,000. That'd be pretty cool to see a small, tiny little milestone like that. We are within 200 people of 17,000, so consider subscribing if you're looking for more baseball news and content. Everyone, please hit that like button. Hey, it's just going to help it get out there into the algorithm. Hit the bell notification so you get notified of any news and any time I go live. Share any of the content as well. Everyone, so like I said, we have a small update on the lockout. They met again today. Didn't really seem like there was a lot of movement on it, but we did have at least some information to dig into. So like I said, not much progress really made when it came to today's meeting. It looked like they met for around 90 minutes. The biggest thing that was addressed in this meeting today between Major League Baseball and the Players Association is really the big one was the Players Association. Before coming into today, the last reported figure that they were demanding for a bonus pool for pre-arbitration players was at around $105 million. They have lowered that asking price to $100 million. While Major League Baseball, they're only looking to offer $10 million for a bonus pool for pre-arbitration players. Why is that significant, you may ask? Well, a lot of these players that are pre-arbitration, a lot of them, hey, some of them are doing pretty good. You got guys like Corbin Burns, who won the Cy Young last year. I think he made a little over $600,000 last year, and this guy's winning the Cy Young Award. You got Jonathan India winning Rookie of the Year. I mean, this guy's on a pretty close to a league minimum salary. There's a lot of good players out there that are not really making all that much money. There's a lot of good players that aren't even in the millions. Like I said, Corbin Burns, Jonathan India, a couple examples from last year. So that is why the Players Association, they want more money for these young guys, and that's why they're demanding $100 million. Me personally, I'd have to see the numbers right in front of my face. I'd have to, but when I'm thinking about it, I don't know. It seems like it's a lot for guys. Because when you really think about it, there's not like a ton of players that are in their second year that are, putting up numbers like Corbin Burns, putting up numbers like Jonathan India. Yeah, sure, there are a lot of good players, but I feel like $100 million, this to me is the Players Association. I mean, yes, they should try and get what they can, but this to me, I don't think it's even going to be whatever figure they agree upon. I don't think it's going to be anything close to this. Let me actually go over really quick. Before I do kind of dive into this a little bit, let me actually go over the offers as of right now. So for Major League Baseball, what they're offering right now for the players, again, they both agree on a bonus pool for the top pre-arbitration players. I think the figure that I read is around 22, the top 22% of pre-arbitration players. Major League Baseball, they're offering $10 million. They're also offering to increase the minimum salary to $615,000. A 14-team postseason, and a draft lottery for the top three picks. While the Players Association, on the other hand, they want a bonus pool as well, but like I just said, they want $100 million. The minimum salary, they want it to be $775,000. So they're a little apart on that. They want less revenue for these small market teams. They want these small market teams, if they're not going to go out there and try and make the money, well, then they feel, or try and win, then they feel like these teams shouldn't get that much money. They want the luxury tax line to be more flexible so teams can have the flexibility to be able to sign some of these players without having to go over that luxury tax line. They are okay with an increase in the postseason, but they're only willing to maybe go to around 12 teams. And they're also okay with a draft lottery, but they want it to be for the top 7 picks, and they want those teams to be non-playoff teams. So, getting back to this right here, this was kind of the big one that was being discussed today. Major League Baseball, the Players Association, they're far apart on this. They're $90 million apart. To me, I can see this eventually. They're going to meet somewhere at some kind of a figure. I don't think it's going to be close to this $100 million, to be honest. If you might be asking, well, what the heck do I know? I have a little bit of experience paying attention to union kind of matters. I'm not a union expert by any means, but I am a teacher, and I've definitely been aware. I mean, it's not the same. I get that, but I am aware of how the teachers union, and how the county that I work for, they're always going back and forth. They're always far apart on things. I'm always getting emails left and right where, they're having collective bargaining meetings and whatnot, and they're, just going through the process, and they're always far apart on stuff. And eventually they come to terms on something. So I think we all can agree, eventually, who knows when that's going to be, but I don't think it's going to be this, because when I'm really thinking here, if I go to Fangraphs really quick, let me go to payroll here. So if I'm looking here at pre-arbitration players, let me actually go to the Brewers. Let me actually pull that up, because Corbin Burns is probably the best example that I can think of off the top of my head. So Corbin Burns, well, he was pre-arbitration last year, but he's going to be making $4 million here. So for 2022. So you got to be thinking here, last year wasn't really making all that much. And if they get a bonus pool, I think the figure that I read was he would have went from around $600,000 in salary to over $2 million, which I believe is somewhere like a 250 to 300% increase. Let me actually go to Jonathan India real quick. I mentioned him earlier. Jonathan India, taking a look. As you can see, he's not eligible for arbitration yet, still in the pre-arb phase. So, he's probably not going to make all that much, next year. It's probably not going to be much. But, this is a guy where, hey, getting Rookie of the Year, this is a guy that I think should, be getting more money. And I think the players are very right for doing that. And I think they're going to. But I'm trying to think here. If you're looking at the top 20% of these, second year players, I just wonder, like, $100 million? I feel like that might be, I don't know, kind of asking. It seems like a lot when I'm kind of looking at it. The top 20% of second year players. I mean, sure, yeah. A lot of these good players will definitely get pay raises, but $100 million worth? I don't know. I think really what that is, when you're negotiating and when you're starting, you gotta shoot for the moon. That's kind of how negotiations work. Look how far apart they are. These are obviously two very prideful sides here. You got the owners and you got the players. And I think eventually they're going to come to terms on some kind of a figure. I think honestly it's probably going to lean more towards the owners, because I just feel like this is, again, I'd have to look at numbers in front of my face to really, I'm a visual person. I had to see all of it. But when I'm thinking about it, it just sounds like it's a lot, for these top pre-arbitration players. It just sounds like, I don't know, I feel like you don't need that much. And that's probably how the owners feel. They're probably thinking, what? $100 million? What the heck are you guys talking about? But the players, they're going to shoot for the moon here, and they're going to ask for a lot. I could maybe see them agreeing, I don't know, 30 to 40 million. That's going to be my pick. That's going to be my prediction of because they both are okay with a bonus pool, unless they just, for some odd reason, just blow up the whole thing. I mean, I guess that's always possible too. But I think the players, they're very strong in wanting this, and the fact that the owners are okay with it, I think you're going to see it. But 100 million? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near that. I think that's just the players. They're really trying to get a lot. That's how the teachers unions are. I'm going to tell you that right now. I can appreciate a lot of what the teachers unions do. Hey, sometimes my salary gets a bump. I get some incentives here and there. But man, sometimes when I see what the teachers unions are asking for, I'm thinking, really? Like that seems like a lot, but that's what unions do. They always just go for as much as they can. So, hey, they're far apart right now. I think they're going to come to terms. My guess, I'm going to say anywhere from 30 to 40, maybe 45, 50 million. I could see something like that. But if I were to make a guess, honestly, I would say anywhere 30 to 40. That's just my thing. Because I think the owners, they're looking at this, they're just looking at it from a long-term business standpoint. I'm not defending them by any means. I'm not defending the players. I'm just looking at it from down the middle. I would love to be able to talk to a union expert about this. Maybe I can try and get someone on the show. I think that would be really cool, really beneficial for a lot of people to be able to really pick the brain of someone that knows about unions. I wish I could sit here and say I know how these negotiations go, but negotiations for the most part, yes, you're always going to be kind of far apart. I think eventually they're going to get closer. I think once you get closer to the season, this is what I could see Major League Baseball doing. I could see Major League Baseball. I could see them, once it starts getting close, I could see Major League Baseball, they'll up their offer a good amount. They'll go maybe 30 million. They'll be like, all right, you know what? Hey, spring training, we've already cut into some spring training time here. Let's just get to the chase here. We'll give you 35 million for the bonus pool. And hey, take it or leave it. And then I could see the players being like, all right, make it 45 and we got a done deal. Maybe they agree on anywhere from 40 to 42. Something like that. I could definitely see once time gets closer, I could see Major League Baseball, they want to try and just get it done. Because I read a report the other day or at least a tweet. I don't want to say a report. That might not be really fair to say that. But I read a tweet the other day. I don't know who this guy was. I forget who it was where I read it. But it got a lot of likes on Twitter. And again, I know Twitter is not a reliable source. I'm going off of anything right now. But he was basically saying all the main things are agreed upon except for the money. That's pretty much obviously the sticking point here. We all know that. So I think when time is ticking and we're looking really close to getting to a season, I think eventually I think Major League Baseball, they're up their offer a good amount. But of course they're going to sit back here a little bit. All right, we'll give you 10 million here. Yeah, they don't need to budge. The players at the end of the day, they're the ones that want to be making the money. They're the ones that want to be getting their paychecks. And Major League Baseball, yes, and of course, Major League Baseball, they run the risk of losing revenue. But, I think eventually, people are going to want to get paid. And they're going to want to start going to work and making some money, bringing in some paychecks. As much as Major League Baseball, they want to be helping out these young guys. At the end of the day, they got to start making their money too. And so I think eventually, I think Major League Baseball, they'll come back, closer to spring training, and they'll really start getting serious with some money offers. So right now, I think they're thinking, at least in my opinion, They're kind of sitting back right now. They feel like they probably don't need to really start upping offers like a lot. Where same thing with the Players Association. They go down $5 million. That's not really budging at all, So they're both holding firm right now, and that's negotiations for you. You're gonna have guys like, where was it today? I think Jeff Passan. What was it? Evan Jurelic. Let's see here. This is actually okay. This talks about here where it kind of gets into the pool a little bit. The union plan would award this is another thing too. This is actually a pretty important thing here. The union would also like for these guys to earn a year of service time, where instead of getting, 6, I think I have this right. Instead of having 6 years to free agency, if they are, the top 10 in their position, they can have a year taken off to where they can get to free agency quicker. I think that's what I'm reading here. If I were to read it to you, the union plan would award a full year of service to rookies who finish in the top 5 in their league for Rookie of the Year, top 3 for Reliever of the Year, and or make first or second team all MLB. Non-outfielders and non-pitchers who place top 10 at their positions in their respective leagues, according to an average of Baseball Reference WAR and Fangraphs WAR, also would qualify, as would starting pitchers, relief pitchers, and outfielders who place top 30. A player who performs well enough to achieve any of those distinctions, in the union's estimation, is worthy of a year's service. I think I have that right. I think if you're one of the better players at your position, then I think they want a year taken off of how long it would take for them to get to free agency. I actually kind of like that in a way. If they perform well and they're doing well, then hey, let's get to free agency a little quicker. If they've earned it, go for it. I think I'm reading that right. I like it. So maybe they could have something like that. Again, I'm looking for the Jeff Passan tweet. Let me see if I can do it. Jeff Passan. Let me see here. So again, I always love these tweets from these baseball writers. I do like Jeff Passan. At the end of the day, though, they are media people. I'm not the biggest fan of people in the media. I don't know. I'm just saying. This is it right here. The meeting between the Major League Baseball Players Association and MLB is over. Little progress was made. The on-time opening of spring training at this point is in grave danger. He's making it sound like it's a horror story over here, and frankly, would take a miraculous deal coming together to rescue. A delay feels inevitable. I just love the choice of words here. It's such a media tactic where he wants to pull on your heartstrings a little bit. He wants to get your emotions going. Look how many people are so angry in these tweets. Look at Max Scherzer yelling at Dave Roberts right there. Look at the emotion. He wants look at this lady in the cage. I mean, good grief. There's just emotions. This is pretty funny. I actually kind of like this. There's emotions all over the place. Like, look at this guy. He hates everyone that owns any sort of major or has anything to do with the owners. I mean, good grief. There's just emotions all over the place here. How does that get going? Because you're going to be using words like grave danger and it's going to take a miraculous deal. People, these are negotiations. This is how it works. It's, Jeff Passan, he just wants you to click on his tweet and they want you to think, oh man, if I can get these guys to click on my tweet, maybe they'll go sign up for an ESPN subscription that no one wants to sign up for anymore because ESPN has been going down the tubes over the last 10 years. Oh, I miss old ESPN very much. But again, Jeff Passan, take these, yes, he's being accurate here in terms of, yes, we could miss spring training. Absolutely. Maybe we could even miss, some games in the regular season. I don't think that would be a great idea, honestly. But hey, Jeff Passan, I love you, but come on. Do we got to be putting grave danger here? Come on, calm down. But that's all I got here on this as of right now. Looking like we're going to have to keep waiting around. Honestly, I don't think we're going to see anything major. I really don't. I don't think we're going to see anything major for the next couple of few weeks. I really think, please, kind of hold back on your expectations a little bit. It's not often that we see CBA negotiations, every 10 years. So these guys, they know, hey, it's probably best to really take your time here because at the end of the day, yeah, sure, you could miss some games. Do us, the fans, like that? No. But at the end of the day, it's a business. The players, they're trying to fight for what's right. And the owners, they're trying to just keep it, they're just trying to keep their standards in check too. So they're looking at the next 10 years. We're looking, as fans, we're sitting here. This is entertainment for us at the end of the day, watching baseball, talking about rumors, seeing free agency, watching trades happen. At the end of the day, it's all entertainment for us. For these guys, hey, it's business. It's paychecks, So at the end of the day, it's the next 10 years for them. So they're not going to rush. They're not, yes, we as the fans, we want to see movement. But is that going to be a good idea for both sides for them? No, it's not. So I think my prediction, I'm hoping March 1st will be good to go. I think so. I think if the season maybe starts, halfway through April, end of April, it wouldn't be the end of the world. At least it wouldn't be the COVID season where I'd be okay with that. If we have spring training by mid-March, beginning of March, mid-March, if we end up losing exhibition games against college teams, then okay, well, so be it. But I think honestly, hopefully March 1st, 1 month from now, in my bold predictions stream not too long ago, I predicted February 7th. Well, it's looking like I'm going to be pretty wrong on that. I'm a glass half full kind of a guy. What can I say? But I'm hoping March 1st we'll have some kind of a resolution. That's what I'm thinking. March 1st. Write it down. I'm wrong on a lot of predictions, so hopefully it's not too much longer after that. Anyway, let's get back to it here. Enough of the lockout. Let's get to some kind of rumors here. This is what we live for as baseball fans. We want the rumors in the offseason. And we got a little something on Nick Castellanos and the San Diego Padres. And, I actually think Nick Castellanos, I think there's a lot of good fits for him. I think the Padres are a good fit for him. But according to reports, the Padres, they might not want to shell out the money for Nick Castellanos. It's looking like their interest in him is rather limited. But it's looking like the Marlins, before the lockout started, they actually were maybe quite warm on the idea of a Nick Castellanos. Let's go take a look at the story here. So, here we go. All right, the latest on Nick Castellanos. The crop of unsigned corner outfielders remains strong, with Chris Bryant, Nick Castellanos, Kyle Schwarber, Seiya Suzuki, and Michael Conforto still yet to put pen to paper. Taking a look here, reports from before the institution of the lockout suggested the Padres were among the teams with strong interest in Castellanos. However, as part of a reader mailbag this week, Dennis Lin of The Athletic writes, the club doesn't seem to be terribly high on the 29-year-old. While San Diego was at least in contact with Castellanos representatives at the Boras Corporation before the lockout, Lynn downplays the possibility of San Diego committing either a 5-year or a 9-figure investment to Castellanos coming out of the transaction freeze, which I'll be honest with you. I'm not surprised by reading that because look at all these big contracts they got here. Are you kidding me? You just signed Fernando Tatis Jr. While yes, he is going to be a bargain for, the next few years. He's not going to be making $20 million until 2025. But you got Manny Machado on a big contract. You Darvish paying decent money to for the next couple of years. Eric Hosmer, terrible contract. They're stuck with him for a little while. Will Myers, you got to dish out a little bit of money for him this year. Probably won't exercise that club option in 2023. Even Blake Snell, he's making a decent amount of money. Do you want to be giving, a 20, 25 million to Nick Castellanos as well? Because what happens if Nick Castellanos down the road, he's just not, an effective player as he gets older? I don't know. Yes, for the first couple of years, I'm sure he's going to bang if you sign him. But who knows what he's going to be like in 4 or 5 years? Do the Padres want to commit to a long contract like that with Nick Castellanos, especially? Well, yes, it's looking like they're going to have the universal DH, so that kind of goes in his favor a little bit. But I don't know. I think right now the Padres, they feel like, all right, we got a lot of big contracts here. If you look at their luxury tax payroll right now, $214 million. They went over that luxury tax line last year, didn't even make the playoffs. That's a bad taste in your mouth when you're having to dish out fines, for going over that luxury tax line. I mean, and you're missing the playoffs, that's going to leave a sour taste in your mouth. You don't want that. So I think the Padres, they're thinking, all right, you know what? I don't know. Even if we do get a big bump in this luxury tax line, which I don't think it's going to be $245 million that the players want, I could definitely see something like 220, maybe 225, something like that. But I don't know. For the Padres, I feel like they're not willing to, they already got a lot of big contracts on their books. And then you got someone like Mike Clevinger as well. He's going to be a free agent next year. If he ends up performing well, maybe you want to get him locked up to a long-term deal. So, and you got some other free agents, obviously, in the coming years. Do you want to spend the money on Nick Castellanos right now? I think that bat would really help that lineup, but could you maybe go a different route? Could you go a cheaper route and maybe get more bang for your buck? There is something out there where today, also Dennis Lin again, he had another article today suggesting that maybe Seiya Suzuki could be a possibility for the San Diego Padres. I think this is more speculation than anything, I believe. If we take a look, so that was from January 17th. As we can see here, the latest report on Seiya Suzuki is that the Giants and the Mariners, according to Peter Abraham of the Boston Globe, those are the two frontrunners for Seiya Suzuki. And also, there was a report out of Japan last week that the Red Sox, it was looking like they were going to nab him. So Giants, Mariners, Red Sox. But I did a video on Seiya Suzuki a few days ago. And I think the Padres on that list, I had the Padres at number 2 as the best fit because they really could use a left fielder. Seiya Suzuki, he's a right-handed bat. He can play the outfield. I think he would play the outfield probably better than Nick Castellanos. I mean, Nick Castellanos moves around out there like a brick. I'm sure Seiya Suzuki, according to his scouting report, I think he would provide a serviceable outfield for you or outfield defense for you. So Seiya Suzuki, you could end up getting more bang for your buck by going and getting him. You could end up saving a lot of money, and maybe you end up getting, maybe not as good results as Castellanos, but maybe Seiya Suzuki ends up turning into a really good hitter. And hey, he performed well in the Nippon Professional League last year in Japan, and that's a pretty good league. So a lot of people are thinking he's going to come over to the major leagues, and maybe he won't put up the numbers that he did in Japan, but you're looking at maybe hitting around 280, maybe 20, 25 home runs, maybe anywhere from 75, 90 RBIs, decent on base, 340 to 360, somewhere in that range. So to me, if I could get Seiya Suzuki at a way cheaper deal, maybe 4-year, $50 million, something like that, pay a little bit of a posting fee as well, I think I'd be okay with Seiya Suzuki. I really would. With Nick Castellanos, you're looking at banging out maybe 20, 25 million per year. So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Padres get involved on Seiya Suzuki. But getting back to the article that we were first looking at, taking a look here. Here we go. So taking a look. So if not the Padres, where might Castellanos and Boris turn? The Marlins have been reported to harbor interest in Castellanos, a Miami area native. That was one thing I noticed when free agency started this year. I was like, oh, Nick Castellanos, he's a Florida man. Hey, you got that good fit right there. Since before the offseason even began. So this isn't just, right before the lockout. There's been, murmurs of the Marlins maybe showing some strong interest in Nick Castellanos for a little bit now. So the one thing is that the Miami Marlins, they did sign Aviseo Garcia $55 million to play right field. Maybe he could even play center field. But if you're going to have a universal DH, Nick Castellanos, I'm just saying. But there was also a report here. Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald wrote recently that Castellanos would welcome a homecoming deal with the Marlins, but only if the terms were right. Fish fans hoping for a hometown discount should probably temper their optimism. Hey, maybe the Marlins can work something out. If we're taking a look at the Marlins payroll right now, it's pretty much non-existent. I mean, who's making the most money here? Avisail Garcia is their highest paid player. You just signed Sandy Alcantara to a 5-year, $56 million deal. Miguel Rojas is cheap. Anthony Bass is basically not making anything. So the Marlins, right, they got tons of payroll room. $95.3 million. Are you kidding me? Nick Castellanos would be nothing. So I'm just saying, yeah, you are going to be owing some money to Stanton over the next, how many years? 1, 2, 3, 6 years. But whatever, $3 million per season. I think, honestly, Nick Castellanos makes a ton of sense for the Marlins. I'm going to tell you this right now. If the Marlins add Nick Castellanos, that division, that's going to get, it's going to get pretty hot. I'll tell you that right now. And I would maybe even be willing to go as far as to say if the Marlins can add a bat like Castellanos, I think they could be a strong contender for that division. You know why? Because they got a deep pitching staff. They got depth in that minor league system. You got some young arms in this bullpen that can contribute, where they got some pretty good stuff. You added a guy like Joey Wendell over the offseason, or this offseason, as well as Avisail Garcia, like I said. You added Jacob Stallings. I'm telling you right now, Nick Castellanos, get this guy in a Marlins uniform, I might pick the Marlins to win this division. I'm not kidding. I'm just saying. This is a good team. It's a really good team. You got young talent on this team, a deep pitching staff. I don't know, man. I think the Marlins would be a pretty sneaky pick in that National League with a Nick Castellanos in the lineup. I think it's very intriguing. And I think if you're Nick Castellanos, if there's one time a player would be willing to go back to his hometown team, I mean, this might be a pretty good opportunity, especially, considering as well, this is not going to be a good team in the near future. This is a team that is going to be built to contend. I'm just saying, man, that young pitching staff, it's exciting. I really like this pitching staff. If they can all be healthy next year, Jesus Luzardo, don't forget about him. He had a couple of good moments with the Marlins, late in the season last year. Get him on track. I mean, good grief. You got Sixto Sanchez down in the minor leagues as well. You got Max Meyer. Oh, come on. I'm just saying, you cannot deny this fact. This pitching staff for the Marlins right now is way deeper than the Mets. I don't care what you tell me about Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom being the number 1 and 2. Yeah, that's fine and dandy. That is amazing. If both of those guys stay healthy, I'm sorry. For a rotation, it's 5 guys. Maybe sometimes 6, not 2. And the Marlins, they got guys that are talented enough that can give you a chance to win every single night. I'm just saying. This Marlins team, they're going to be pretty good. Get Castellanos, oh boy. The only thing wrong with the Marlins right now is that offense. And they've improved it a little bit. Maybe the bullpen a little bit. You could definitely add some arms to the bullpen. But man, Castellanos would be huge. He would be huge. Let's get to another team here before I get out of here for tonight. We got the St. Louis Cardinals. I have talked about this a little bit already this offseason, but hey, just looking at the recent reports, we're trying to find anything to sink our teeth into right now, but we do have something on the St. Louis Cardinals and the bullpen. Taking a look here, it's looking like the Cardinals, they want not just a reliever, but they want a high leverage reliever. They're not looking for just any rinky-dink arm out there. They want a guy that can provide valuable innings. Kind of like how Andrew Miller was with, when he was on the Indians not too long ago, where this is a guy that can come in any inning really and provide just production. No matter if he came in the 7th inning, the 6th inning, he closed out games. That's the kind of reliever the Cardinals want. So there are some options out there. This free agent market right now with relief pitching is still really strong. Taking a look here, if we take a look at the unsigned relievers as of right now, I mean, you got some guys here. You got Colin McHugh, who quietly had a good season last year with the Rays. Kenley Jansen, obviously this guy's had phenomenal results over how many years now. Ryan Tepera was really solid with the White Sox. He ended up being the better reliever for the White Sox over Craig Kimbrell. You got Andrew Chafin and the mustache. I absolutely love that mustache. I mean, there's some guys here. I mean, you even got Joe Kelly, I would say more of a middle relief / setup guy. But this is a guy, he can throw hard. He's got some decent stuff. He'll give you decent production out there. Absolutely. So I think with the Cardinals, if we take a look at their bullpen right now, it's, you got Giovanni Gallegos now looking like he's going to be your closer for however long. And, but you got some other guys here. Alex Reyes, Genesis Cabrera had a pretty good year last year. Don't forget, you got Jordan Hicks that's going to be coming back. You got some arms. So I could definitely see someone like Alex Reyes. He had his moments last year, but then there was times where he just really struggled. He was just coughing up a lot. Coughed up the wild card game. So I really think, and getting Jordan Hicks back, if he can get back healthy, that's going to be huge. But I can understand why they would want to go after, I think someone like Ryan Tepera would be really huge for the Cardinals. Taking a look, he, for the most part in his career, he's been able to provide a lot of innings for you. 2019 looked like he was dealing with some stuff, only pitched in 23 games that year. 2020, he was fully healthy. Last year, he pitched in 65 games. There's other guys too. Colin McHugh, he's had his moments over the last few years. 2020, he didn't even pitch at all. Don't even get me started on Colin McHugh. That just drove me nuts. But he was really durable year to year to year. Colin McHugh is someone, has pretty decent stuff. He hasn't really had a lot of experience at the end of games. He only has one career save, and that was last year. Another option, maybe you could go after someone like Andrew Chafin. I feel like, actually, how many lefties do the Cardinals have? They have they have two lefties here. But Andrew Chafin, this is a guy where he's been really durable in his career. 3 straight seasons of 70 games, at least, and then 71 games last year. He had 5 saves last year. This is a guy, he can come in, set up role, middle relief. He can close out some games as well. Had really good numbers last year. Andrew Chafin, I think, in a Cardinals uniform could make a lot of sense. Taking a look, who else we got out here? There's a lot of relievers. Kenley Jansen, to me, is more of a closer kind of a guy. I don't think this is a guy, I don't know how he would do in, like a high leverage kind of a role where you can bring him in at any point. He definitely seems to be used to coming in at the end of games. I could see maybe the Blue Jays being a good fit for him. But yeah, that's what I think with Kenley Jansen. But you got some other guys here. Like I said, you got Joe Kelly as well. Could you maybe go back to the Cardinals? There's a guy, he's had some saves here and there. He had 2 saves last year. Joe Kelly, I've always thought of more, he seems to be more of like a middle relief kind of a guy, and then he can set up too. I just remember with the Red Sox, there were some times he really struggled with command, but he could definitely be a serviceable setup man for the Cardinals as well. Could he make a reunion with the St. Louis Cardinals? I definitely think that. We got someone like Adam Ottavino out there. He was good in the first half last year, not so good in the second half. Maybe someone like Archie Bradley as well. You got a lot of names here. Archie Bradley didn't really do anything last year, it seemed. I think Archie Bradley, I don't know at this point. He had a 4.35 FIP. You'd probably get him for cheap. But I don't know. Is that the kind of guy the Cardinals are really looking for right now? I don't know. I could definitely see someone like Andrew Chafin, Ryan Tepera, maybe Colin McHugh, maybe Joe Kelly. I could definitely see something like that. But I think for the Cardinals right now, for me at least, they're a favorite in this National League. It's a bit of an early prediction, but I really like this Cardinals team. I am very, very willing to have them, to predict that they would go far next year. We'll have to wait and see what ends up happening with the Cardinals. But a bullpen arm, I think someone that you can rely on, I think would be huge for this Cardinals team. But everyone, that's all I have for tonight. Just a quick stream. There's not really too much to talk about. Unfortunately, I'm hoping this lockout can end soon. Hopefully. Again, not much progress made as of today. I'm sure a meeting is going to happen hopefully next week. We'll have to wait and see. Got to keep up with the news, see what Passan and Evan Drellich are telling us. We had some news today on Nick Castellanos. Maybe not as a surefire fit for the Padres as we thought. Maybe the Marlins could get in on him. Could the Padres maybe be more inclined to go after someone like, say, a Suzuki? I really think that's very possible. And the Cardinals, could they add that bullpen arm? Could that be the one piece that they're missing for a World Series run? We'll have to wait and see. But everyone, I'm out of here. I'm going to get going. I'm going to go work on some stuff. But everyone, have yourself a good night. On the way out, if you can, hit that like button for me. If anyone is new, hit that subscribe button for me. Share the stream. Share any of the content. Hit the bell notification. But I'm out of here. Have yourself a good night. And I'll talk to you next time.